Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Brian. Brian, if we can talk about something that's slightly more personal, but still very encapsulating to everything you've been talking about today, and that's overcoming obstacles, visualization, and everything else. You've overcome cancer. It was last year, I believe, you were diagnosed with throat cancer. Can you just tell us about that story and maybe some of the lessons that you've learned along that journey?
Yeah. Well, I believe in having regular medical checkups. After the age of 40, you should have a checkup every year, because doctors can find things in a checkup that will not really even appear, especially blood tests and so on, not even appear for several years. So regular checkups can add about 8 to 10 years to your life. Well, I got so busy for 2 or 3 years, I never went to a doctor. I finally had a little sniffle that didn't go away, so I went to my doctor for my medical checkup. And he looked in my throat. He said, looks like you have an infection. Let me give you some antibiotics. Come back in a week. So I did. He came back and I said, it's not an infection. The infection's cleared up. He said, I'm afraid I'm going to have to change your life. You have cancer. This is an internist, very smart doctor. And he said, I'm going to send you to an expert who will do a biopsy just to make sure that we're correct. So he did. And the biopsy came back, and the MRI, and the PET scan, and the CT scan showed that I had a cancer about this size, the size of a lime, on the back of my throat. Now, as a speaker, as anybody, but as a speaker, this was frightening to find out you have throat cancer. Fortunately, it was not on my larynx. It was not on my voice pipe. It was on the side. So I said, well, what is the course of treatment? And they said, well, first of all, we start off with chemotherapy to shrink it, and then surgery to remove the scar tissue, and then radiation to kill any microscopic cells. So I began to read copiously, learn from the experts. I went onto the internet. I went to the American Cancer Institute. I checked my cancer against other cancers and predictions. I joined a support group. I read books on the subject. I got second opinions from other doctors. And then I finally came to the conclusion, trust your doctors. These people do this all day, and each of my doctors, there's 3, one for chemotherapy, one for radiation, one for surgery. And this is called your team. Yeah. When you get cancer, they say, select your team carefully, and the team works together. Just like they talk on a regular basis, like the 3 people heading a company. They talk about you as a patient on a regular basis. They analyze your treatment. They decide how to change it. Each person is individual. Each course of treatment is individual. And so you trust your doctors, and you do what they tell you to do. Get second opinions to give yourself comfort. Learn everything you can, and so I did. I said, what's the likelihood of success? And they said, most people who go through this go through it once and they are cured, and it never happens again. If you remember, the actor Michael Douglas came down with throat cancer about the same time, and it was more serious than mine. And he just went through his course of treatment. He trusted his doctors, and today he's back to a normal life and making movies. So the best advice I can give you is be well informed. Don't allow yourself to be put off base, and then trust your doctors. Your doctors have one goal in life, and that's to heal you, to cure you, to get rid of the cancer so that it never comes back again. And so that's what I do. And I made a movie of it, which is now on the internet, and I think it's called Conquering Cancer. So if you go to briantracy.com, and if you or anyone in your family has cancer or learns that they have cancer, go and watch this movie, because people are saying it transforms their confidence in their ability to deal with cancer and to deal with a family member who has cancer. The 4 most important words ever discovered in history are the words, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It's true at all times, for all people, under all circumstances, in all situations, whether it's the economy or whether it's a relationship or whether it's cancer. This too shall pass, one way or another.